Welcome back. This is part 2 of my domestic tranquility, and I was just discussing the general concept of what is missing, why people are stressed out, and what we can do, the steps we need to take to go about correcting this gap in our country. I talked about we have the sort of male side of things and the female side, and then I talked about National Guard and national care. And what I'd like to also say is that when we move into this area, people in either of the categories will be getting a lot of benefits from joining and doing the things involved. So, but first and foremost, we absolutely need to bring mothers home. Mothers, we need you. I'm terribly sorry that for the longest time, people have ignored you. They've ignored your pleas, they've ignored your cries, and they don't truthfully care. And the thing is that you are so busy being a mom and being a good mom, or trying to be a good mom in an environment that is hostile to you, you haven't had time to fight for yourself. And there's nobody fighting for you until now, and that's me. Now, I announced this way back in 2019, and I'm continuing to announce it, but the real truth is we need to move forward, folks. Talking about it, knowing about it, all the big people know about it. I told everybody. So nobody can act like they don't know what we're talking about, because we know what we're talking about. We need to pay mothers. We need to give them benefits, and we need to give them training. And mothers need to come home and raise the kids 100% for like a good 10 years. And then depending on the child, it might have to be longer, or it might be shorter, or it might be forever. So, we're going to have a different pay schedule for different things. But in general, moms, I heard you. And this is not fair, what's going on. So first off, one of our biggest issues is that we've locked in motherhood with marriage. And babies can't pay, so somebody has to pay. So in the traditional lifestyle, it was always the husband paid whatever he could provide. And we had this family unit, but it locked women in, mothers in, to whatever their husband could provide, and sometimes it was a lot and sometimes it wasn't, but sometimes it came with narcissism and abuse, and other times it came with being scared and running away, and suddenly you're a single mother with no income. So, we need to separate marriage and motherhood first off. You can be married, but just because you're married doesn't mean you're going to have children together. And if you're a woman who wants to have children and you're not married, you shouldn't have to find somebody to marry. You should be able to have children on your own and not go into poverty doing it. So, and not having to get online with drug addicts and, people from prisons. Not that I know there are a lot of innocent people in prison, but there's a lot of guilty people too. So mothers should not be on that same line trying to get a paycheck, trying to get a pay or money, because motherhood is not an illness. And you shouldn't be on that line. You are respected. You should be respected. You should be given the dignity that the National Guards have. You are like a National Guard, but in the home. So, we need to change our whole thinking about this and get mothers off of welfare. We need to bring you home and give you training. So I recommend that we give you to start. So $500,000 to come home and you start training immediately and you start putting your life in a place that is workable. And then the training continues. And then after about 3 to 6 months, you'll be ready for the next step and you'll graduate and you will get a bonus of another $500,000. And you will be, there will be other benefits and things that come up. So let me just start there. This is a step-by-step of how we need to start. And how we need to start is with mothers coming home. And then you need money so that you can provide the necessary things for your children. So you can, some of you are badly in debt, some of you are not. But if you're badly in debt, you can pay all of that off. And you can get maybe a real apartment or a real home. And you go to school, and all of this can be like within a month, you can be living a completely different life. Then what's required is to provide healthy nutrition for your children. So with that money comes the obligation of learning how to cook again and making healthy food for yourself and your kids. So that is priority number 1. Bringing mothers home, giving them the tools needed to do a good job. And then once 6 months is over, then we'll move to phase 2. But the first phase is bringing mothers home and giving you the tools needed to do your job. Number 2 is turning all school buses into public buses where people of all ages can get on if there's room, and they go around the town and they bring you to wherever you have to go. Now, if the town already has a school bus system set up, or if I'm in West Virginia, but this is also for the whole country. So if in New York you have like the subway system, then a new bus route doesn't need to be made, so you've already got that first step done. But yes, so we need to turn school buses in the rest of the country into town buses. And they go around to the schools, but they also go to the grocery stores, to the library, to all the important places that a student might need to go, to the swimming pool, wherever, to a hospital. And therefore, the kids and the elderly can be independent. So I know a lot of people, once they reach like 70, 75, they don't want to drive anymore. And I don't blame them, especially with the roads the way that they are. But that's for another conversation. But because it's hazardous to drive sometimes, once you reach a certain age, you don't want to. So that now you can just go down to your local bus stop. Once this is in place, this is number 2. And you hop on your bus and you go to your grocery store or to the post office or to your yoga class or whatever. And you get to the closest point that you can, and then you get out and you walk the rest of the way. And that way you're getting a little exercise too. And you're not driving and you're not endangering yourself or others. And others aren't endangering you because maybe you're not driving like you once did, and maybe you're driving slower or whatever. But then the best part is you can stay in your home longer. You will not have to leave your home as soon and go to an old folks' home or something. You can stay independent. And that's what this will do for the older folks, give you independence. So, and it gives kids independence too. They don't always have to be asking mom and dad to drive them. They can hop on the bus and go a couple of stops and go see their friend and then bring the bus back, So it can be used in many ways, and I've seen it work fantastically in Europe. They have a super bus and train system that gets them from point A to point B and back safely. There are officials on board that, children can even travel safely alone. And the generations see each other So, people are stranger, but they're not stranger. And it's overall, it's great. It's fantastic. So, that is step number 2, turning all buses into town buses. So that is definitely a necessary thing, and that will get people out walking too. You can take a bus to a place, and then you can walk from where the bus stop is to wherever you're going, and so you get a little exercise, and it's what's needed. So I'm already 10 minutes on this. Let me stop here, and then I'll start again. So yeah, that's enough for that now. This is the end of part 2. Part 3 coming up.